So when Bitcoin first became mainstream, Elon Musk tweeted out that Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. So he believes that both Bitcoin and fiat money are BS, which is something that I agree with. But if you follow the guy closely the way I do, because he provides me with easy material, well, you'd notice that he often sheepishly obeys his Twitter followers, and not long after that tweet, he all of a sudden loves Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies. So he followed the herd into this imaginary world of cryptocurrency, which is what I will discuss in this video. And another thing I will discuss is how Tesla went on a gambling spree with shareholders' money and they purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So I will discuss how horrible of an investment that turned out for Tesla later on in the video. But after Elon expressed his original thoughts about Bitcoin, saying that it's BS before his Twitter followers forced him to switch sides, he then tried to backtrack, and in a way to save himself from one of his many foolish tweets, he later said that by stating almost as BS, he said that the key word in that tweet meant that it's almost. Now, that's just proof of his ignorance and his sheep-like mentality. But let's discuss his original tweet. So, Bitcoin, according to Elon's original tweet, is as BS as fiat money, just to a lesser degree. Now, as I said, I agree they are both BS, but I disagree that Bitcoin is less BS than fiat money, because in Elon's lawless and imaginary world where he thinks that it's possible to live on Mars with no water, he doesn't understand that here on Earth there is such a thing called legal tender, which are the paper notes that are issued by the government, aka fiat currency. Now, fiat currency is not real money. They are paper notes that are backed by nothing, but fiat currencies are issued by governments, which is why they are used as legal tender and as a medium of exchange. It's accepted in all domestic commerce and financial contracts. For example, if you rent a house, your landlord expects you to pay your rent in dollars, aka government-backed fiat currency. Or if you take out a loan to buy a house, the bank or whoever the mortgage provider is expects you to make your mortgage repayments in dollars, aka government-backed fiat currency. And neither the landlord or the bank will accept Bitcoin as their repayments, because if they did, well, then they would lose all of their money. You see, Bitcoin is a fake coin that only exists on the blockchain, but what surprises me the most is that Elon, he doesn't understand that. He actually thinks that it's a real coin similar to a gold coin that has utility. I say that Bitcoin is more BS than fiat currency because similar to fiat currencies, it's backed by nothing, but the difference is it's not a sovereign currency issued by governments, and it's not legal tender or a store of value the way gold is. The only place that Bitcoin is accepted is in the community of fools led by Elon who live in an imaginary world where they think that it's the equivalent to gold, even though it has no substance or no intrinsic value. But it's in this next tweet by Elon where he really shows his ignorance when it comes to his understanding of money, as he tries to trash gold and praise cryptocurrencies. So the tweet states, an email saying that you have gold is not the same as having gold. You might as well have crypto. Money is just data that allows us to avoid the inconvenience of barter. That data, like all data, is subject to latency and error. The system will evolve to that which will minimize both. Now, I'm really not sure if he's being serious in that tweet, because if he is, then that is ridiculous and he should not be taken seriously. So I'm going to address each point that he tries to make in that tweet. The first part where he says, an email saying you have gold is not the same as having gold. You might as well have crypto. Okay, I really can't believe he would say such a foolish thing like that, and it's proof that he's not as smart as people think that he is, because the difference is that email confirms that you actually own gold, the precious metal. And as the owner of that gold that you've just purchased, you can either have it sent to you and you can store it yourself, or you can have the bullion dealer that you purchased that gold from store it for you, depending on what your investing strategy is. But if you purchase cryptocurrency, well, you get nothing. And what annoys me is that he can't see that that same logic of an email saying that you own something doesn't mean that you actually own own it. Well, the same can be said when you buy shares in Tesla. After you buy shares in Tesla through your online brokerage account, you will get a confirmation email saying that you are now a shareholder. So what Elon is saying is that the confirmation email from Tesla or from your brokerage account saying that you are now a shareholder in their overpriced car company, well, that's worthless. You're not actually a shareholder. That's what he's saying. But you know, I get the sense that in his own head, he thinks that Tesla is his company and the shareholders are nothing more than free cash flow that he can use to inflate his own ego. Seriously, this dude is full of himself. And you would think that being a self-proclaimed engineer, who's never studied engineering, I might add, well, you'd think he'd be able to tell the difference between a precious metal like gold and a mathematical string of numbers that only exists in cyberspace, which is cryptocurrency. But that's the thing, he actually can't tell the difference since he believes that you may as well just buy crypto rather than owning gold. And he doesn't understand that cryptocurrencies need the internet to exist. The only other place they exist is in the imagination of fools who can't tell the difference between the metaverse and reality. Whereas gold, on the other hand, is a tangible element and it's the laws of the universe that creates its existence. And the physical properties inside gold, the element, cannot be replicated, so it's unique. And unlike cryptocurrency, gold actually has utility. You can do many different things with gold. One thing you can do is you can improve that gold by manufacturing high-end jewelry, because as we know, it's a luxury good and it's also used in all of our favorite electronic devices as a conductor of electricity. Or another thing you can do is you can hold on to that gold and you can store it, and you can use that gold as a store of value and as a hedge against inflation. That is what gives gold its value. But you can't do any of that with cryptocurrency apart from hold on to it and hope that someone else is dumb enough to pay more for it than what you did. But it's in this next part of that tweet where he shows how truly ignorant he is when it comes to his understanding of money. So he states, money is just data that allows us to avoid the inconvenience of barter. That data, like all data, is subject to latency and error. The system will evolve to that which will minimize both. Now, there are so many things wrong in that tweet, but first of all, what does he even mean when he says that money is data? That doesn't even make sense because money isn't data. He's correct in that money allows us to avoid the inconvenience of barter, but calling money data, well, that is just wrong. Now, if you don't already know, barter is when you exchange your goods or services for someone else's goods or services without using money. For example, if you owned a farm and you grew apples and another person grew oranges, then you would trade your apples for his oranges, and you would trade your apples for everything that you need to survive. But obviously, that is not a very efficient way to trade for everything that you need. So after a while, people started accepting precious metals such as gold and silver as payments, which is why it's considered to be real money, not fiat money. Gold and silver is real money, and real money is something that has utility. Money is a good or a commodity within and of itself. It's something that you can use and something that will always be in demand. Money should also be a store of value, and that is why gold is the best form of money, because even if you don't use it yourself because you're not a jeweler or whatever, you can store it for 1,000 years and there will be someone else that you can sell it to and who will use it 1,000 years later. Now, money doesn't necessarily need to be gold. It can be any commodity that has utility, but precious metals are the best form of money due to their indestructible properties. That's why Bitcoin can never be used as money, because it has no utility. Blockchain has utility, but Bitcoin does not. And money is accepted by everybody, but not everybody will accept Bitcoin. And you could say that Bitcoin would be more in line to a return to barter, because not everyone will accept Bitcoin as payment. You would need to find someone who will actually accept Bitcoin as their payment in exchange for their goods or services. But only a fool would accept Bitcoin because they live in an imaginary world of pretenders. Bitcoin is very high risk. It's currently down 70% from its all-time high, and it's probably eventually going to collapse to nothing because it's an imaginary currency. It doesn't exist. But Elon and the fools who idolize him, well, they don't understand that. They think that it's a real, tangible tangible asset, which is the equivalent to gold. They've lost their minds. The whole world is going crazy. But now let's talk about the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of shareholders' money that Tesla blew on Bitcoin. So the announcement that Tesla used shareholders' money to buy into this digital trash was in Q1 2021, where the price of Bitcoin was trading above $35,000. And the news of Tesla's purchase sent Bitcoin's price to a whopping $69,000. And everyone was praising Elon like he was a genius. And the sad thing about that is he actually believed it. He thought to himself, wow, I'm a genius. Look at the price, as he pats himself on the back. Well, a whole lot has changed since he went on that gambling spree. It was announced that in Q2 2022, a bit over a year later, well, Tesla actually dumped their Bitcoin holdings for a massive loss. It's reported that Tesla sold their holdings for under $20,000 per Bitcoin, which is a 45% loss. So that shows you how horrendous of an investment it was for Tesla. Let's do some math. $1.5 billion minus 45% equals a $670 million loss worth of shareholders' money. Tesla and Elon should be held accountable for such a massive loss. See, if I were an investor in Tesla, I would expect that the money I've invested would be used to expand the Tesla brand and to be reinvested back into manufacturing more cars. I don't want my money being gambled on Bitcoin. Tesla is a car company, not a cryptocurrency broker. It's absolutely irresponsible to do such a thing, and I think it should be illegal to gamble shareholders' money on cryptocurrencies. But I don't think that Elon actually cares about Tesla shareholders. He is basically telling them, I will do whatever I want with this money because Tesla is my company, not yours. And if you don't like what I'm doing with your money, then sell your Tesla stock, because the fools who follow me will keep inflating the stock price no matter what I do.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best, okay? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin. Then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin.